If you want to build a website with Bluehost, I'm going to take you from a brand new Bluehost setup to a website like this using the Bluehost website builder. We'll let Bluehost create the starting design, customize the important parts using its AI editing tools, and then make sure everything is ready before we publish it. In this Bluehost website builder tutorial, we're using Bluehost WordPress builder, which gives us an AI-assisted starting point while still creating a WordPress website that we can continue editing inside WordPress. If you haven't signed up for Bluehost yet, you can use my exclusive Bluehost discount link in the description below to follow along. The discount is automatically applied when you use the link, so there's no coupon code you need to enter. This is an affiliate link, which means I earn a commission if you purchase through it at no additional cost to you. Once you click the link in the description, you'll be taken to the Bluehost offer page. From here, click the View WordPress Plans button. From here, choose the WordPress hosting plan you want to use. Bluehost currently offers one site, Starter, Business Essentials, and E-commerce Essentials. If you're creating one normal website, blog, portfolio, or small business website, I'd start by looking at one site. It includes one website, a free domain name for the first year, SSL, CDN, and an AI site builder. Starter is a better fit if you want to host multiple websites and need more storage and capacity. Business Essentials is designed for larger growing websites that need more resources and additional features, and E-commerce Essentials is the option I'd look at if you're building an online store and need WooCommerce and selling features. For this tutorial, I'm going to use one site since we're only creating one normal business website. After choosing your plan, you'll be taken to the domain setup page. If you already know the domain you want to use, you can search for it and register it here. Bluehost includes a free domain for the first year with eligible plans, so you can claim it during setup. If you're not ready to choose your domain yet, you can also skip this step and set up your domain later. You may also see Domain Privacy Plus Protection here, which helps keep your personal contact information private in the public domain registration database. Next, create your Bluehost account and enter the required information. Before submitting the order, take a quick look at the billing term and any optional product shown on the checkout page so you know exactly what you're purchasing. Then complete the order. You'll then be taken to a thank you page while Bluehost finishes setting up your hosting account. Once your account is set up, you'll arrive inside Bluehost. The interface you see may look slightly different if Bluehost updates something, but the important section we're looking for is your website area. There's one distinction that's going to make the rest of this tutorial much easier to understand. Bluehost and WordPress are not the same dashboard. Bluehost is where you'll manage things related to your hosting account, websites, domains, and hosting settings. WordPress is where you'll actually manage the content and design of your WordPress website. We'll be using both. If Bluehost has already taken you directly into the website creation process, you can continue from there. Otherwise, go to Websites. From the Websites page, click Edit Site. Bluehost automatically handles the normal WordPress installation for the site, so for this setup, you don't need to manually download WordPress, upload files, create a database, or do any of that. Once WordPress is ready, Bluehost should give you options for how you want to start building the site. We're creating a brand new website, so I'm going to use the guided site creation process. This is where Bluehost starts creating the initial website for us. Don't worry if you don't know exactly what you want everything to look like yet. The goal here is to give Bluehost enough useful information to create a strong starting point. First, choose the type of website you're creating. For this example, I'm creating a business website. Enter your website name. I'll use Brightness Cleaning Co. Then describe what the website is about. This part is worth spending an extra few seconds on because the more useful context we provide, the better starting point Bluehost has to work with. Instead of writing cleaning website, I'm going to enter Brightness Cleaning Co. provides recurring house cleaning, deep cleaning, move-in and move-out cleaning, and customized residential cleaning services for homeowners in the Dallas area. That's much more useful because Bluehost knows what the business does, who it serves, and what services should potentially appear on the website. Continue to the next step. If you already have a logo, you can upload it here. If you don't have one yet, don't let the logo hold up the rest of the website. You can create one here if that option is available, or skip it and upload your final logo later. I'm going to continue. Next, Bluehost will begin building your website. Bluehost will also ask how familiar you are with WordPress. Since this tutorial is aimed at beginners, I'll choose beginner. That lets Bluehost provide more guidance while we're setting everything up. Bluehost will now begin creating the website. I'm going to speed this part up because there's no reason for you to watch a loading screen. And here's our first major result. Bluehost has created different starting designs based on the information we entered. You can preview the designs before deciding which one you want to use. Here's the important part. Don't choose based on whether every sentence or image is perfect. We're going to change those. Instead, look at the overall structure, look at the header, look at the hero section, look at where the services appear, look at how the calls to action are positioned, and look at the general flow of the page. This one has the structure I want for the cleaning business, so I'll select it. Depending on the options Bluehost gives you here, you may also be able to switch between different layouts. Again, I wouldn't spend 10 minutes trying to find the perfect combination. Get the structure reasonably close and keep going. The website is still completely customizable. Take a quick look through the page. We already have navigation. We have a main headline. We have content sections. We have calls to action. And instead of starting at a completely blank WordPress website, we now have something we can actually work with. Once you're ready, save the design and continue into the website. We're now inside WordPress under the Bluehost area. To start editing the site itself, click Edit or Edit Site. This is the part I'd spend most of your time on when building the website. Don't try to customize 50 things at once. Start with what visitors see first. I'm going to start with the main hero section. Click the headline and replace the generated text with something specific to your business. For example, professional house cleaning services in Dallas. Then update the supported text underneath it. Something like reliable recurring cleaning, deep cleaning, and move-in or move-out services for Dallas homeowners. Already, this looks much more like a real business website. Then check the main button. The button should lead somewhere useful. For a service business, I might use something like get a free quote. Later, I can connect that button to a contact page or a quote form. You can also replace the generated images with your own images. For an actual cleaning company, I'd strongly prefer photos of your real team or your real work instead of leaving generic images everywhere. That gives the website much more credibility. Upload your image, replace the existing one, and make sure it looks good with the text beside it. That's the workflow you use throughout the website. Click the section, replace the generated content, and move on. You can also add individual elements to the page using the plus icon in the top left corner. Click it to open the block inserter, and from here you can add things like headings, images, buttons, and other content to the page. And if there's something already on the page that you don't want, click the element to select it, open the three-dot menu, and click delete. So you can add, edit, or remove individual pieces of the page without rebuilding the entire section. And if you make a change you don't like, you can use the undo and redo buttons at the top to quickly go backward or forward. When you're finished making changes, click save in the top right corner to save your updates. And if you want to go back to the WordPress dashboard, click the WordPress icon in the top left corner. Scroll down and look at the sections Bluehost created. For this example, I want visitors to quickly see the main cleaning services. If the generated services section is already here, I'll edit the existing one. If I need another section, Bluehost Wonder Blocks gives us pre-designed sections that can be inserted into the page. You'll see different types of sections and patterns. Instead of designing everything from scratch, we can choose a section that's already structured properly and then replace its content. For example, let's add a services section. I'll change these to recurring cleaning, deep cleaning, move in and move out cleaning. This is much faster than manually building every column and spacing everything from scratch. You can use the same approach for testimonials, an about section, calls to action, contact information, or other parts of the website. Just don't add sections because they're available. Every section should have a reason to be on the page. Once the content structure is close, then I'd work on the overall design. Instead of changing individual colors randomly throughout the site, use the site-wide style controls when possible. To do this, from the WordPress dashboard, hover over Appearance and click Editor. Then click Styles. This is where you can adjust things like your colors and typography so the website feels consistent. For Brightness Cleaning Co., I'd choose something appropriate for the brand and then check several sections of the website to make sure the new style works everywhere. This is another place where people can waste a lot of time. You don't need 20 different fonts and colors. Choose a clean combination, make sure everything is easy to read, and keep going. Once the homepage looks good, check the pages visitors actually need. For a basic service business website, I would normally want pages such as Home, About, Services, and Contact. You don't necessarily need 10 pages when you're starting. It's better to have 4 useful pages than 10 unfinished ones. If you need another page, from the WordPress dashboard, hover over Pages and click Add Page. And use the available page layouts or blocks as your starting point. Then check your navigation. To edit the menu, from the WordPress dashboard, hover over Appearance and click Editor. Next, click Navigation. Find the menu you want to edit, click the 3-dot icon and click Edit. To add another page to the menu, click Add at the end of the navigation and click the plus icon. From here, you can add an existing page to the menu. You can also add other blocks if you want something like a button or social media icons in your navigation. To change the order of a menu item, click it and use the left or right arrows to move it where you want. And if there's a menu item you don't want, select it, click the 3-dot icon and click Delete. Keep the navigation simple. Someone arriving on the website should immediately understand where to go to learn about the company, view the services, or contact you. When you're finished, click Save to save the navigation changes. Before publishing, there's one check I would never skip. Look at the website on mobile. A site can look great on your desktop and still have a headline that wraps strangely, an image that crops badly, or a section with awkward spacing on a phone. Go through the homepage, check the menu, check the buttons, make sure the text is readable, and make sure the most important call to action is easy to find. You don't need to obsess over every pixel. We're looking for obvious problems. Once everything looks good, save your changes and publish the website. Then open the live website in a new tab. And this is the result. We started with Bluehost, gave the website builder information about the business, chose one of the generated starting designs, and then turned that starting point into an actual website. Remember that the AI-generated version doesn't need to be perfect. Its job is to eliminate the blank page and give you something useful to customize. From here, you can continue adding your real photos, business information, pages, forms, and any other content your website needs. And if you still need Bluehost, I've included my discounted Bluehost link in the description below.